My name is Amanda.
And I'm Kristin.
And we are the Exorcisters. So sit back, relax, and let's get creepy. Welcome to episode 53. And in this episode, we are going to be discussing the Christmas monster movie, yes. I guess. It's a monster movie. They're just
definitely a monster.
They're just like little monsters.
Exactly.
Gremlins.
Yes.
From 1984.
We're going to do all Christmas this month because you adore
it begins
Christmas.
I am a Christmassy bitch. You'll hear more about that all through this month.
Exactly.
But it's my favorite.
Because you were all about it.
I'm all about Halloween also during Halloween. But then, like, you know, when you've been creepy all year and Halloween comes around, it's not that much different. You just get to, like, it's socially acceptable to, like, decorate for it, right? So
right.
I can put spooky lights in a graveyard in my flower bed and, like, all that stuff, and nobody really cares. But when Christmas comes around, I'm just living my best life.
Got it.
I love buying presents and wrapping them and putting up the tree and like all the music and festivities, and it's just such a joyous time.
But we're still horror, so we had to merge the two. So now you get Christmas horror all month.
Yep. So buckle up. And starting off with Gremlins is it's a pretty natural move. This is like the
number one Christmas horror movie ever.
Yeah. And it's a classic.
Yeah.
And I know it is horror and I know it is a monster movie, but it in my head is like a little different, I guess, because it's not like this is something kids could watch.
Yes,
I mean,
kids often watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a kid movie. I don't remember what it's actually rated though, but that doesn't matter. But I remember watching it as a kid, and this is the first time I've seen it, I think, as an adult, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not. I don't dislike this movie by any means.
I was gonna say, I know you were upset that we had to do it at all.
Well, it's just like. I want to watch Christmas movies, and you will hear, I'm sure, about this all month. I want to watch Christmas movies. I want to watch The Grinch. I want to watch Christmas Story. I want to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I want to watch The Holiday. I want to watch Love Actually. Like, horror is always on my mind, but like, this is the one time of year where I'm like, not a spooky bitch. Like, this is the one month where I'm basically Will Ferrell from Elf.
But you also
Santa!
But you also you didn't like this movie, right? Beforehand?
You know, I only remembered certain aspects of the movie in the first place. So I remembered something exploding in a microwave, which I thought was really disgusting. And I just remembered general 80s puppet chaos.
Basically, yeah, okay.
And so it's not like I just adore this movie, but you know, I enjoyed watching it. It wasn't that I didn't like it. Again, I'm just prejudiced because I want Christmas movies.
But Gizmo is the cutest thing on the planet.
Honestly, though, that's true. The singing in the beginning when he's like playing with the piano and he's like,
I thought of you.
I was like, oh my God.
Exactly.
I need a bird because I feel like that's the closest I would get to like being able to like sing with my pet. And if Mogwai could be pet, oh my God. I would get it. But this movie is just, do I say it? I'm going to say it. It's another example of the white man stealing from someone else's culture and ruining it for everybody. So, the end.
I mean, that's basically what this movie is you stole this dude's pet and ruined him. Mm-hmm. Which I stand by. This is why kids can't have pets.
Listen,
because damn.
Disagree. But I think that these are honestly pretty complicated rules to live by. Like, they're simple in nature, whereas there's only the few.
Don't get him wet.
Don't get him wet.
Don't feed him after midnight. It's not that hard.
Bright lights.
Exactly.
And the first thing they do is, like, take a picture. Like, flash. Idiots. And it, like, it's so sad when it, like, freaks out. And then, now the getting it wet thing I could see being difficult because you shower and we just, we're just generally wet a lot. So I could see that being difficult.
What if it rains out or you get a glass of water that falls over like in the movie?
Exactly. That stuff happens all the time. I mean, my dogs get wet sometimes and I don't intend for them to.
Yeah.
So that could be difficult. The not feeding after midnight thing is only really difficult if they are
smart and evil geniuses.
And sneaking thing. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but having honestly a horde of them, if they were all like Gizmo, that'd be great.
God damn, they're cute. I know.
They're like hamster cat dogs.
Even Spike, or I think they call him Stripe,
yeah.
is fucking adorable. Like, he's an evil genius, but God, he's cute.
Which kind of balances out.
Exactly. So I have a Spike at my house, a cat who's also an evil genius.
We have a Spike and a Stripe.
Adorable, so.
Exactly. He gave me a scar. This one.
Yeah.
Right there.
Because he's evil.
He's in my wedding pictures. What I do like about this movie is I will give it does feel very Christmassy. Mm-hmm. There are like a lot of like Christmas horror movies where it's themed around Christmas, but you don't really feel the inherent atmosphere of the Christmas.
Like, I will say, Black Christmas.
Yeah.
I love that movie, but it doesn't feel Christmassy.
I mean, other than, like, because Christmas movies, they'll throw up some lights and stuff, but other than that, like, I don't know if it's because this is the 80s and just the small town with the snow and everybody, it kind of feels like a Christmas Story and National Lampoon and, like, some of these others. And you also had Stephen Spielberg involved in this project.
Who is the 80s.
Exactly.
I mean.
So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's an era thing, whereas when they did a winter movie, it just felt like Christmas. But Black Christmas was from the 70s, so I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it felt like Christmas. Even though it's not like this was about Christmas. He just happened to be getting a Christmas present at that time in the winter. And so you've got all of these elements that, you know, I would probably watch this again for Christmas, you know, if I was just like, I need my horror fix.
I'm honestly surprised to hear you say that. Honestly.
I am also surprised.
You were dreading this all year long. I was like, we have to do Gremlins. It's the epitome of Christmas horror. And you're like, eh. So I'm surprised.
I mean, it's just, like I said, I am a Christmas purist. And Gremlins just doesn't fit into that perfect little box that I have created for my definition of Christmas. Like, even when back in October, we had a pretty decent snow. I got like a couple inches overnight. I usually listen to our Spotify playlist, and even when it's not Christmas, I still listen to our spooky playlist. But every single day in October, I drove to work listening to it, and I drove home to work listening to it. When I got in my car that day and it was snowing, I put on Let It Snow. I was like, it's Christmas.
It's happening.
Let's go.
We're over Halloween.
Yes. And so I guess, you know, I have this definition of Christmas that it doesn't fit into because they're ruining Christmas.
Jesus. You're angry.
They are. Because I know that it's not like this movie has like a not like satisfying ending, and it's not like it just ends in chaos and everything is burning and that's the end. But I don't like the Grinch is like feel good, warm fuzzies, and he just needs, you know, like yes, he ruins Christmas, but that's what the whole thing is.
Right.
This is just, you hung the dogs with Christmas lights. How dare you?
Okay, but at least it was tame. They didn't hang the dog.
Right.
He
was
alive.
just like strung up, like whining.
Like Max from The Grinch. He kind of reminded me of him.
That's true. It is a very similar breed of dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, pros, Gizmo's really cute.
Goddamn, yeah.
Also, you have these 3 rules that you need to live by, right?
Yeah.
You knock over some water and a bunch of it just pops out, which has got to be the easiest way I've ever seen anything give birth, first of all.
Right?
Secondly, okay, we've discussed this. Accidents happen. And then you take him to your fucking, first of all, high school science professor. He doesn't have an extensive research degree. He doesn't know. I guess that.
Oh, yeah. He was salivating. He was like, oh my God, this is going to be my big break. I don't have to be a science teacher anymore.
Bet.
I just discovered this thing.
And then knowing that this poor little thing, Gizmo looked like.
He was in pain. And then he looked so sad afterwards.
Yeah. And then he's just trying to play with stuff and the other ones are picking on him and his face. Oh my God, his face.
I know.
But then you take him and then intentionally like drop water on him and I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah.
I would never trust you again. And then that's so fucked up. This guy, like I know he's our hero, but he's kind of like, that's messed up. That thing trusted you and you just exploited it. And then the dad's like, we're gonna make money because he's like this faulty inventor.
I was mostly mad at the fucking science teacher. Like, you lock him in a cage and you keep stealing his blood and you're like, it's not gonna hurt. It doesn't hurt that much. You're fucking stabbing him with a huge needle and he's this big. He's fucking tiny.
I mean, even little needles in our skin it's not like it hurts a lot, but it doesn't feel fucking great.
I was so happy. I was like, take him out. killing.
Yeah.
Asshole.
I mean, there's some good violence in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's pretty, shall I say, tasteful. And I will say, Black Christmas is probably my favorite horror Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
Not the remake, the
70s.
Which is funny because I didn't actually watch it except for 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You made me
I was
watch
like,
it.
you have to watch this.
And I was like, you're gonna ruin Christmas with your killing. But no, it was good,
right?
Yeah, yeah. But this one, I mean, I guess there's a reason why it's a Christmas horror classic, and I respect that now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't when we started. I was like, this is dumb. But I think in my head, I also saw it as a little campier than it actually was.
Got it.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's kind of lame. Like, they're puppets in the 80s. It's not going to be
No, they're
great.
actually done pretty well.
They are, especially when Gizmo's the cute little innocent. Oh, my God.
He just
It's
breaks
like,
your heart.
He's like what Furbies tried to be
Yes,
back in the 90s.
Exactly.
But then Furbies were scarier than the Gremlins.
Especially when you throw them in the closet and then they keep talking and you think they're going to die and no.
So, side story. My mom is really good at keeping and hoarding all of my brother and I's old toys because she just like
Smart.
has a problem with letting things go.
Either way, that's going to make you guys a lot of money someday.
You should see my Beanie Baby collection, bro.
There's like
Honestly.
$1 million Pokemon card and Connor used to have it and he's so pissed he doesn't.
Yeah, same.
So hold on to all your toys.
Yeah.
That is the underlying
That's the
thing.
moral of the story here. But we had Furbies. Me and my brother each got one for Christmas one year.
Okay.
And when we, back in like 2013 or 14, or maybe even before that, we found it as like adult kids or like, you know, late teens.
Okay.
So we would just hide that motherfucker around the house. So I would like wake up and open my eyes and my brother put it like on my nightstand or in a closet, or he would just be like in a fruit bowl or something. So that's fun. Just a little.
That's great.
He had like a pure black one too.
Oh, so like in the dark and it would just talk to you? Fuck that.
Yeah, and it was like really, because it was from the 90s and this is like 2013. It's really warped, so it would like, it was like
So
really
the devil was
warped.
talking.
Yeah, basically. They should make a Furby horror. I guess this is a
fucking
Furby horror movie,
yeah,
but like
basically.
specifically about the toy
Furbies.
Furby.
I know.
Call me
90s
Warner
fucking failed.
Brothers. I know.
This is what they should have been doing with their horror.
And why wasn't there a Beanie Babies TV series?
That's a good fucking point.
Thank
What
you.
the hell, 90s, like, filmmakers?
We have My Little Pony, but you
God
couldn't give us a
damn.
Beanie Baby? Well, now I'm just off on a tangent. I'm thinking of all the 90s toys that could have been so much more.
Bringing it back, I want to talk about the mom a little bit. Because,
Yes.
first of all, she's two things to me. One, she is fucking badass when she goes after the Gremlins later. And two, she is just the all-suffering woman, and she must love him so goddamn much. Because none of his fucking inventions work, and she just has to deal with it.
Yeah, that between the orange juice thing and the coffee
Yeah.
sludge and whatever the egg thing was, that is a lot of, I think at a certain point, you don't want to crush your spouse's spirit, of course.
But damn.
But first of all, this town is in an economic collapse. Everybody's struggling except for this one bitch who owns everything.
Exactly.
And knowing that your son is keeping you afloat, maybe get a job and then do this on the side.
Exactly.
And also paying $200 for a creature that you just think is really cool, probably pretty irresponsible.
Yeah, he's like the worst provider ever.
Honestly. And our hero here, our protagonist, is the one trying to keep everyone alive, but then feeds these motherfuckers after midnight. And can you imagine your son being like, hey, come look at this, and then you walk in and there's fucking creature cocoons everywhere?
I'd be like, you need to clean your bedroom. What did you do?
burn it to the ground. Burn it down to the ground. And she's just like, she's honestly a soft-spoken badass, though.
Yeah, she really is. She's just like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to go along for whatever you guys say. And then we're going to fucking fight these little gremlins. So we're going to throw them in microwaves and in blenders.
Which is just, I mean, that stuff is pretty brutal. I
She does
specifically remember the microwave scene because it fucked me up.
Yeah. And you can tell, she's like counting them down almost. She's like, okay, I know I just killed, how many were up there? Okay, I just killed 2 of them. Now we're at how many left? And
Yeah.
she does a really good
Very
job.
strategic. So go mom.
Yeah, she's great.
She is great. And, you know, even if I saw that the clock said 11:35 and they were clamoring for food, I'd be like, no.
You can fucking wait until the morning.
Yeah.
Why are you up at midnight to eat? Well, I guess they are babies. Never mind. I take that all back. But also, don't feed them after midnight. Okay, let me comment. In what country? Because there are different time zones. So who knows what the fuck time it is where they actually came from?
That's
that
fucking true.
count?
Especially because you got it in Chinatown.
Yes.
I mean, probably not if the kid was like, never feed it after midnight. It probably has adapted to whatever time zone they're in, or who knows how many years this family has been in the United States. But I think I would just feed it in the morning.
Exactly.
And then like in the evening. And then
you like maybe get a snack at lunch and then that's it.
Yeah. And, you know, the fact that these creatures escape, obviously that's like the whole point. But it was just so avoidable.
Yes.
Frustratingly avoidable.
Yes.
Like if we're just going to break down the characters and shit. So annoying.
Yeah.
Because they're just stupid. And these cocoons fucking hatch and then it's just...
And they're the most disgusting fucking things ever.
I know. How does something...
that cute and fuzzy...
yeah.
become something disgusting?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's gross.
I'm trying to think of other things that do that, but not smart enough to just have that bank
go
of knowledge.
from cute to disgusting.
To hideous. From like pupa, like insects specifically. I mean, I think caterpillars are cute, and if you zoom in on a butterfly, they're terrifying.
That's fucking true.
But they're pretty if you're not like under a microscope, so I guess that doesn't really count.
And then we got to talk about his girlfriend.
That dumb bitch. Okay, no, I'm sorry.
First of
She's
all,
not dumb.
Exactly.
But
so first of all, Phoebe Cates, which this is another, she is the epitome of the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, we have her in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, taking off her shirt from the pool.
Yes.
Everyone knows that fucking
Queen.
scene. So it's just another way to make this feel like the fucking 80s.
yeah.
And she says this one quote, and when she said it, I was like, oh my fucking God, that's brutal. She goes, while some people are opening their presents, others are opening their wrists for Christmas.
I made a note of
fuck,
that
man?
too. That's why I said dumb bitch. Not because she's not in the
She's so
in the
harsh.
movie. But like he's like, why don't you love Christmas? She's like, I just don't. Okay, listen, just because you have problems doesn't mean you need to go being defensive.
Right?
That's first of all, I know some people have, and that's true. The suicide rates do go up around the holidays.
Damn, is that harsh?
Yeah. And that makes me really sad because the Christmas has always been the epitome of happy. Like, the movie Christmas is literally my Christmas. Like, I am just like, this is holly, jolly, joy. Like, the world is, even though it's only a Christian holiday, or pagan, I guess, if you really want to go there, but we're not gonna, you know, and it's just like, it's such a warm, fuzzy time for me. And so when everyone's like, oh, I don't really like Christmas, or it doesn't really mean that much to me, I'm like, you're a sad human being.
So me.
Yeah, right. So we've talked about, this is going to sound really like, this is just like pipe dreams and, you know, everything that someone does, you know, you have like bigger dreams for it. And one of the things for this podcast would be cool to like have get-togethers with our listeners. I want to have a fucking Christmas party, but that's not our demographic.
Yeah, it's
we
not.
do like
Maybe
a
Halloween party.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to mention is you can definitely, I know you kind of already said this, but you can tell when great film producers, writers, directors are involved with a project, because if Gremlins was done by just some no-name, and I know Stephen Spielberg was a producer and it's not like he was the lone wolf on this project, you can tell that the production value, even for the 80s, I mean, imagine Gremlins, but like on a Thanksgiving budget.
Oh yeah, it'd be fucking terrible.
In the 80s, this could have been a garbage fucking movie, but they were able to get, when they got Spielberg, they got a good cast, they got good special effects, the actual gremlins are puppets, and they look kind of like puppets, but it's actually held up pretty well. Gizmo doesn't look too robotic or anything. I mean, he's cute
and cuddly.
The voices are well done, so you can tell that there was a lot of love and time and money spent on this movie.
Definitely.
And I think that's why it still holds up, because
absolutely,
there are some campy 80s movies that are fun, but I just think this one would be one that was incredibly off-putting if it wasn't done with like a really good staff and budget.
Right. Yeah, they could have been terrible, which I've only seen it like one time, but I'm pretty sure Gremlins 2, the new batch, is pretty bad. So
I don't remember.
Maybe that's what
I don't
happened.
think I've ever seen it. Literally, the only thing that stuck with me from seeing it as a kid was the microwave scene, because I'm like, do things just explode like that? Like,
yes, they do.
Yeah, right. So, That was just incredibly violent. And I never forgot it. So, but I really did appreciate the effort that went into making this movie not really cheesy looking.
Mm-hmm.
And this, honestly, the story of going to Chinatown to find this thing and the kid doing it behind his back, like, the story's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you really want to dig in, you can find some, like, obviously the whole reason it happened was fucking stupid,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like that would never fucking happen, because it happens all the time. People are just stupid. They don't even take care of pets that we know how to take care of.
Right.
So it's not like this wouldn't happen if this was a real situation. It's just frustrating to watch it happen.
Right. I love the narration in the beginning and the end,
Me
too.
too.
It makes it feel Christmassy.
I was about to say, I forgot to mention that. That makes it feel incredibly Christmassy.
It definitely feels like a Christmas story or something like that.
Yes. And I love that Billy and Gizmo, like, team up, too.
Yeah.
They're like, get him.
Gizmo's fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love him.
Me too. I was reading about this, and literally some of the plot breakdown, it calls the Gremlins, instead of calling them, like, crazy fucking ravenous beasts, it says busy little creatures.
Busy little creatures.
Destroying the town.
Yes, literally. Which, in folktales, that is what gremlins do. So, good job on them not just creating this weird monster, but actually taking a folktale and making it their own.
Yeah. I also love that the Gremlins are creatures of chaos, but they're just little kids.
Yes.
They're in a movie theater watching a fucking movie.
They're
Snow White.
watching Snow White and the dwarves. Oh my god, I love them.
Yeah.
They're fucking hilarious.
So it's like, yes, they're minions of hell, but also they are just like teenagers or little babies.
Mm-hmm.
They're technically just little, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Maybe like 12, 13, where they're like right in that ornery, I'm going to be a pain in the ass age.
Yeah. And of course, Stripe, the leader of them, is like the one to get. Like, you know, he's the one that is kind of the last standing. And that cat and mouse is fun because he's so little. So that it actually does a pretty decent job of like building some anxiety about, you know, when they're looking for them, trying to hunt them down, trying to kill them. And then with Stripe being the last one standing, it does a pretty, like, I wasn't like, oh my God, but I could see as like a kid or, you know, a first time seeing this being like, oh my God, it's so little. How are they going to find it? You know?
I wanted to bring something up to you. So I have known my whole life that is Spike. And all they ever call him is Stripe. And it kept making me think of that Bernstein Bears thing you talked about.
Mandela effects.
Yes.
Yep.
We should talk about that.
Well, it's just, so Mandela effect is one of those conspiracy things. So it's like your entire life you've known something as one thing, and then come to find out later it was always something else.
Right.
And that Mandela effect is kind of like, it's kind of hard to I'm not good at explaining it, but it's kind of like a parallel universe. Like, did we cross over something? Like, it's really interesting. It's like a whole, we could get into Mandela effect for a whole, like, happy hour.
Right. But like,
just talking about these things.
it's like Berenstein or
Berenstein or Stain.
Bears.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel with, I've known it literally, I have an aunt who named her pugs after the Gremlins, and one of them is named Spike after the Gremlins. So where the fuck did Spike go if it's Stripe?
Yeah, he's a little mohawk stripe.
I've known that my whole fucking life.
Freaking you out?
Yes. I'm like, Stripe, that's fucking stupid. It's Spike. What the fuck?
Spike sounds more badass.
Thank you, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's Stripe.
If someone knows why I'm being crazy, please let us know. If there's an excuse or if I'm just insane.
The bulk of this movie is chaos. Like, them literally destroying this town, them going after them, literally shooting at them. Like, it's a whole thing, and the whole town is involved. There's news coverage about it, all because these motherfuckers couldn't follow some simple goddamn instructions.
Exactly.
And I love at the end that the Chinese man is just like,
taking him back.
Give me the Mogwai back.
And then
why did you ruin
Papa?
everything? Yeah.
Oh, God. Gizmo calls him Papa, and I'm like, breaking my heart.
He just went on a little fucked up vacation.
Right? Mostly he got fucking kidnapped.
He did. That little kid, even, I know that the little kid gave him Gizmo because they were, like, desperate for money, and he knew that the family needed money. Don't give a living thing away behind somebody's back. That's fucked up.
In Cantonese, Magwai means the devil, by the way.
Gizmo's not the devil, just birthed the devil.
That was the same set that they used for Back to the Future also. So talk about the 80s.
No
like,
kidding. Like the epitome of the 80s.
This was released on the same day as Ghostbusters.
Ooh, I wonder who did better.
Yeah,
Should've
right?
researched that.
That's a pretty good pairing.
Yeah. People are going to be like, ooh, look it up now. And I'm not gonna. But feel free. I mean, they're both pretty iconic in their own right. I'd say Ghostbusters is probably more so than Gremlins, but they're both in similar genres, but I don't know. That's interesting, but yeah.
And at the start of the movie, we see a movie theater.
Yeah.
And there's a sign on it that there's 2 movies in there. One is A Boy's Life, and the other is Watch the Skies. Those were actually working titles for Spielberg's Close Encounters and E.T. So E.T. would be A Boy's Life,
yeah,
and then Close Encounters would be Watch the Skies.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Little Easter eggs.
Yeah. Which, that's always fun. Like I keep telling you, that's my favorite part, is when you can just pick pieces apart and keep finding new stuff.
Especially in these old films that we have so much history on now, it's a lot easier to do so. Or like James Wan's films, when he always like hides.
When he hides Billy in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a good one to kick off the Christmas season, though.
It is. It starts our Christmas spirit, and it's a small body count to ease our way into Black Christmas and things like that.
And Ginger Dead Man. Spoiler alert.
Who knows how many... Neither one of us has seen that yet. We'll see how many are dead in that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one but I'm actually kind of excited about that one. I love as you guys know about Thanksgiving, I love the shitty, low budget. I mean, it's just super fun.
We did this and you were like, we have to do Ginger Dead Man. I'm like, okay, fine, it's on the list, whatever.
That's how you felt about Thanksgiving too.
And that's still how I feel about Thanksgiving.
Listen, it was fun for like part of it.
Yeah, the second one, oh God, that was bad.
Yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out with us for our first installment of our Christmas horror Christmas? Doesn't matter. Spooky Christmas season.
Spooky.
You can hang out with us on all our socials at The Exorcisters Podcast. Twitter is at The Exorcisters, and you can always find us on our Gmail at theexorcisters@gmail.com.
And next time, evil never tasted so good. Till next time, stay creepy.